What's up guys, this is Jay and welcome to a guide on 646 and 718 The Sanctuary. So for the beginning, make sure you get this buff that I just got from the NPC and you want to kill these two. You can pull them all the way to the portal, but it's kind of pointless and you risk killing your melee DPS and maybe even wiping your group. Once they are dead, you want to be careful of the group on your left. Some people might not see it and they might pull it, and you want to also watch out for this patrol. If you do pull it, then might as well kill it. If you don't pull that patrol, you want to make sure you're near the portal, or else you might pull the patrol. If you're melee, you might want to be careful of these guys' AoE skill. Interrupt if you can. If you can't, you might want to roll away. It does quite a bit of damage. So for these ads, you want to wait until the NPC removes their buff. After that, pull them, and I recommend if you have a guardian to let them stun, and if you're a protection warrior to stun afterwards and combo your stun. Their AoE attacks do quite a bit of damage, so if you're melee you might want to roll away to avoid that damage. You can see that my rogue friend almost died from that AoE damage, so be careful. After killing these ads, the boss will spawn, so you might not want to stand too close to the center. So for this boss, after you do a certain amount of damage, he'll run away and become immune to all damage, and summon 3 mobs if you're in 718 and 2 mobs if you're in 646. He also has a melee AoE that you see him cast right now. Get away from it. So now you see him summon his 3 mobs. I recommend if you're the tank to save your AoE taunt for this. The boss will continue to AoE as long as the mobs are alive. For each mob that's still alive when he does the AoE, his AoE will do twice as much damage. I recommend the tank to stay on the left side because it's convenient for you to pull the boss right here and the ads will come to you. He also has a Line Aoe that he's about to cast right now. Just get out of the way. That's it for this boss, so just kill him and move on. So for this skip, if you're the DPS, you want to make sure you're a little behind the tank because more ads will eventually spawn from these tents. So if you are too close, you're gonna pull aggro and die. So you want to be careful of these 2 ads in front of you. Get your green soul skill ready because they can both stun and slow you. So you want to maybe even pop it ahead of time so you're immune to that stun and slow. And run all the way back here to let your DPS members catch up. If you're DPS, you want to make sure that you're not too far behind because the tank's gonna die and you might aggro those 2 ads I just talked about. So for this boss, I recommend you mark one of your ranged DPS members so you can stack on him when you need to. The boss will do a huge white circle ice AoE. You want to roll away from it towards your marked range DPS. Almost always she will cast the spell that requires you all to stack immediately after the ice AoE. So if you're melee, you want to just stay there. If she doesn't cast the stack AoE, she will move towards the tank. That's the signal that lets you know you can go back to the boss. If you get this lightning AoE like my friend there just did, move away from everyone else or you're gonna get them and yourself killed. If you're not the person with the lightning AoE, don't waste your roll to get away from them. It's their job to get away from you. You can move away from them instead of wasting your roll. You're gonna need your roll for the white big circle AoE. You shouldn't stand on the tornadoes. They will do damage to you and knock you back. In the 646 version, those tornadoes don't exist, so you don't have to worry about it. Lastly, the boss has a interruptible skill that gives her a shield. This is a priority for the ranged DPS because the melee might be standing still, waiting for the stack AoE. Now for this skip, you want to get your green soul skill ready because they can both stun you and slow you. If there's a mage or a guardian in your group, you want to ask him to decurse you to remove the slow.
Oh, the stun. Fuck.
Once you go behind this corner, you should be safe from the slows, and you can die anywhere along these stairs, but if your group needs to catch up, just run all the way over here, and then die. So for this boss, once you do enough damage, she will eventually summon 2 adds for the 718 version and 1 add for the 646 version. When the adds are up, the boss is immune to all damage, so kill the adds first. The tank wants to make sure the boss still stays in the middle. Eventually, the boss will summon a bunch of adds. If you're the tank, you want to save your AoE taunt for this, and then AoE them. Walk away from this AoE, don't waste your roll. Most of the time after this AoE, she will do her darkness AoE, and you will be forced to run to a yellow sphere for protection. You want to save your roll for that. If you're having trouble, you might even want to save your soul skill just so you can run faster. Here's an example of the darkness AoE. If you can't get here in time, you're probably gonna die. Sometimes she will cast the darkness AoE when she summons the adds. Here's an example of that.
Oh shit! Oh, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh shit!
You fucking noob! Oh shit! I took the fucking funky. Did you see me charge up?
That's it for this boss and the end of 646 and 718, the Sanctuary. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and have fun doing your dungeons. Jay, signing out.